So I'm going to start by asking Cynthia Ericson to come forward, and she's agreed to tell you about the scholarship fund she created.
Good evening. On behalf of the Ericson and Vitamin family, we want to thank the Chester County Community Foundation for highlighting Stephen's scholarship. We are humbled, honored, and blessed to be in the company of all of these amazing families. We also want to thank each and every one of you for taking your time to be here this evening. Tonight, I'm speaking with you on behalf of my mother, Laura Ericson, and my father, Joseph Ericson. My father passed in 2014, but he is absolutely with us in spirit here this evening. Together, they created the Stephen Chandler Ericson Scholarship. I also would like to introduce my husband, Gary Bideman, and mother. And Gary, would you please stand so we can recognize you this evening? It was Friday and a soccer game day at the Westchester Christian School, and Stephen was running to score a goal when lightning came from the heavens. Stephen was surrounded by lightning and God's love, and we were blessed to have him with us for 5 days until God called him home. Stephen entered heaven on September 19th, 1984 at 6:03 p.m., and he was just 16 years old. Later that same night, my mother, in the midst of her unspeakable grief, started to write a letter to Stephen. And she wrote and wrote and poured her heart out. And it's the most loving and beautiful letter. She shared it with each one of us, and we were really speechless. I was just 21 years old at that time. And it's only with the passing of time and maturity that I've been able to more fully appreciate the beauty and power of her message. For her to be able to articulate her thoughts in the midst of unimaginable loss is hard to imagine. And there's only one that can provide the strength and comfort to a mother's broken heart, and that's God. Because with God, all things are possible. Mother's letter was passed to family and friends and colleagues, and a company, Lehman Advertising, heard about Stephen's accident and Mother's letter and asked if they could print it. And since that time, Mother's letter it's been around the world. And every year, at least for the first 15 years, Stephen, we got calls and letters expressing how people had read the letter later on and shared how it had transformed their life. The stories were all about renewed relationships with God and family, and how people found hope and comfort and strength to move forward in their life while living with loss. Stephen was and is a beautiful ray of sunshine, energy, joy, love, and faith. And to demonstrate his character, I'd like to share the story of Stephen's last pair of shoes. Mother took Stephen to the Exton Mall to buy shoes for the school year. And as they were leaving the mall, a young girl was entering with her father, and she was extremely disfigured and had several severe physical challenges. And when Stephen and Mother reached the outside of the mall, Stephen said, "Did you see her smile? I hope people see that beautiful smile." This is Stephen. Stephen's goal after high school was to continue his education with a college degree. So Mother and Dad decided to create the Stephen Chandler Ericson Scholarship to be given annually to a high school senior to help with their freshman year of college or trade school. And the first scholarship of $250 was given in May of 1985. And from its inception until 2010, the scholarship was only known to a few close family and friends, and supported by only a few close family and friends. And 2017 marks the 38th scholarship in Stephen's honor and memory over the last 33 years, and we're pretty excited about that. The theme of Stephen's scholarship is one that one life does indeed make a difference. And each year, when we meet with the scholarship recipient, we share our threefold mission, and that is with God, turning tragedy into triumph, the importance of education, and paying it forward. Some of the best moments in my life have been sharing the testimonials with my mother and father. Lee Johnson was our first recipient in 1985, and he has since gone on to create his own scholarship and foundation. He shared that his life was absolutely transformed upon receiving the scholarship, and that he was inspired to live a life of giving back, and he lives that life today. In 2010, my husband Gary Bideman and I started to realize that when we pass, the scholarship may end. And we wondered how in the world could we keep this going. As we started to research foundations, we thought that this might be a goal that was really well beyond our ability, well beyond our reach. And we associated the word foundation with those with great financial resources. We then turned to the Chester County Community Foundation and shared Stephen's story and what my parents had created and sustained all these years. We met with Karen Simmons and Beth Briglia, and we learned about the blessing that is the Chester County Community Foundation. We thought we were knowledgeable about our area, but through the Community Foundation, we learned about the ordinary people doing the extraordinary while reaching those without a voice. We learned that Stephen, Mother, and my father could continue to change lives even after we were gone. We began Stephen's Foundation with $1,000 in December of 2010, and as of 2017, the endowment exceeds $44,000. 2017 also marked the first time that we reached out to our community for sponsorships, and that would be as a way of adding to what the endowment would yield. We are so grateful to each of our donors for their generosity, and it's because of you that the 2017 scholarship was $6,000. Christopher Sanchez from Henderson High School was our recipient, and he's studying at Bloomsburg University. And I mean, he's actually studying as we speak. Right now, that gentleman is in class, but we are very fortunate that we have Christopher's parents here tonight. And would you please stand so we can recognize you? I know you are out there. Christopher's parents. We are humbled and inspired each week by the people and organizations that have reached out and contributed to Stephen's Foundation. And here is a list of our 2017 sponsors. And it's because of these folks and these organizations that allowed us to reach the level of $6,000, which was our largest ever to date. We're very excited about that and so grateful to all of you. We also have a list of contributors since we became affiliated with the Community Foundation in 2010. The gifts and testimonials are so wonderful, and they remind us so clearly that one life makes a difference. Again, we want to thank you so much for helping us to continue Stephen's legacy. Thank you so much.